there's a great range between these very sort of dense lines and slightly lighter shades. And I wondered if you could tell me a little bit about.
I use graphite powder,
Yeah.
so I use a particular graphite block which is called ed1 XL graphite blocks, and I often I powder that up and use it with a stipple brush to get these bits. And actually, this bit, the darker line, is from another graphite pencil.
So it's all graphite. That's a very dark. So what kind of pencil would that be? Would that be like an 8B or
I think that's probably a 9B.
9B,
actually, yeah. But and I also use sandpaper to distress the paper. And
I can
and the
see.
graphite
I can see
catches.
the backgrounds. There's like little scratches.
Yes, yeah, and that's done with sandpaper.
So would that be the first thing you do?
No, I think I actually did this bit, the figure in the background first, and I created my own stencil.
So it's a stencil,
and pushed the graphite powder through with a stipple brush, and then sandpapered over it, and added more graphite, and then eventually drew a line on the top.
Yeah, so these different processes are really interesting because it creates the idea of different planes. And,
Yes,
and so
yeah.
if you're a spiritual kind of person, you might sort of.
And it's called split. It's all about removing from yourself, isn't it?
Yeah.
Getting out of yourself, or you know. And you see that one has got another different technique, which is one of my favourite. I indent the paper.
We've got a fingerprint in there.
Yeah, that's one of my motifs.
Yeah.
Actually.
So you've got a fingerprint and a stencil again, but you've got the negative of
Yes.
there. Yeah. And now you've detailed the face.
That's using graphite powder with a blending tool. So I dip the blending tool into the powder and just
like a sort of
draw with it.
Q-tip or a.
Yes, it is like that, but it's like you can buy them. They're called blending tools. I've got one. There's a proper name
So
for them
you
as
use
well.
it sort of almost like a paintbrush.
Yes, yeah.
Amazing. And then I wanted to go and take a look at the centerpiece. I suppose this is the original of the drawing that graced the front cover of Brighton Art.
Well, it's the same position, but actually it's a different drawing altogether. The one that was on the Arty cover, the Arty book, was a lot smaller. This is it's the same sort of position. It's a peace statue on the seafront.
It's the peace statue. It's beautiful. Yeah.
You can see again. I've indented the paper again. There's the feathers.
I don't know if I can pick this up, but there's quite a pattern of feathers which underlies the drawing that you've done on top of it.
Yeah. And again, I've used sandpaper again to create a bit of movement, a bit of texture.
Yeah. And if I might say, you've got a lot more life and dynamism in here than the statue does. I was talking about it with David the other
It's quite
day.
rigid as a statue, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah, her wings are very sort of upright. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen the winged Nike of Samothrace.
Oh, no.
It's an ancient Greek statue. It's like, 2,000 years old.
All right. Okay.
But her wings are quite ruffled.
Yeah.
Whereas the peace statue,
It's quite rigid. Yeah.
Yeah. But you've completely transcended that in this.
Oh, thank you. That's very kind. Yeah.
So yeah, what's going on? What's going on here? We've got this quite detailed underdrawing of wing feathers, which don't really seem to be following the pattern of her wings, or they kind of transcend the boundaries a little bit.
Yes, maybe they do a bit, but I mean they are actually they are meant to correspond with the statue. But
so we've got little feathers here and a much bigger
Yeah.
pattern. Yeah. So was that the first thing you did?
Usually that's how I start the picture, but with this one I think I started with this area and it just built up and then I started adding more. If I'm honest, I wanted to keep it quite contained and just like some loose bits going out, but I filled in more than I was going to, but I think it works, so it's not a problem. But so these happened later on, the indented bits, but often I use the indented line, embossing the paper, or indenting the paper. That's how I build up.
And how can you see how you're working? Do you have an oblique tangential light, or?
I think my eyesight's still pretty good, so I'm lucky. But I can actually, you can see. As you're doing it, you can actually see it.
Yeah.
There's still loads of. You still see loads of. There's still bits I haven't highlighted.
You can see what you're doing. Yeah. And then you're drawing on.
you use an eraser?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Like a punchy rubber or something?
Just
Of a drawing which won the prize
yes, that's right. Yeah.
for the National Open
National
Arts.
Open, yeah, it won the
couple of years
finest
ago.
drawing prize, yeah. So there's a nice picture of me with Ronnie Wood, which is nice.
Yes,
you know.
yes.
But yeah, I was doing this. I was been working on this, the idea of like an eclipse with the mirror ball, and then obviously David Bowie died, and the video for Black Star, it's got like this sort of image, and I call it Black Star. I mean, I know I aren't trying to capitalise on David Bowie's death, but it was just it coincided as I was working on it. It was
And I think a lot of people made stuff for
came about. Obviously, you can see all the again all the indented line. That's how it
yes,
works. Yeah.
yes, I can see that. I can see that. So do you project? Do you project something on to get the precision?
No.
You do this entirely
It's entirely by eye.
freehand.
Yes.
Really, my word. I was assuming you projected an image onto
no,
here.
no. If you look,
or-
it's not all perfect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The more you look, the more you realise it's very hand done, and it's quite difficult sometimes to do. Sometimes they don't work. Sometimes they do, and it's quite difficult to know if they're going to work or not. But yeah, this was done originally on a white sheet of paper, and I just indented all the mirror ball image before any graphite was put on.